Patriots, Gatriots, and Natriots. We are here with Michael Cohen and John Legend at the DNC. Are you kidding me?
Well, only you girls would get John Legend to play, to bring me here
That's right.
for you.
That's right.
Spectacular.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of the DNC, last night Barack Obama made a reference suggesting that maybe Donald Trump's obsession with crowd size might mean he has a small penis. Knowing that you know Trump so well.
Whoa. Let's stop right there. Because let me just stop you both right there. I've never seen Donald Trump nude. I have seen him once in his tidy whities and his t-shirt, but I've never seen him, so I'm not going to do anything other than allow you girls to cite Stormy Daniels' book that references his mushroom penis.
Okay, but the question is, Michael, when Donald Trump sees that clip, or if he watched it live, on a scale of 0 to 10, how big is the freak out?
Well, it's a problem because, so I have something that he gave to me years ago. It was a photo of him on the book, The Art of the Deal, and he circled his hands in gold Sharpie. And he gave it to me, and he said, Michael, do my hands look small? and I know you guys laugh, but this is a true story. I have the actual document circled by him in his gold Sharpie. And I'm saying to myself, why would you care? So, using that as the denominator, I will deduce that, yeah, it pissed him off quite significantly. And especially because it came from Barack Obama. Forgetting about the fact he used the accordion hands, which, it's just classic.
Right.
I mean, way to go, Barack, on that one. I mean, way to throw it back right in Donald's face. But, yeah, the fact that it came from Barack Hussein Obama, right? I promise you, it pissed him off something fierce.
Do you think, does that just sit and permeate in his brain for a long time?
Why are you girls talking about Donald's penis size?
Because we blew the whistle on this.
Michael,
We've been
how are you? How's everything? You look so great. Did you lose a lot of weight?
You did lose weight for the trial.
It's stress.
I know.
It's stress. I mean, I got 32 plus to put back on. It's terrible. But instead, we talk about Donald's mushroom pecker.
Because we're petty. We're
petty people.
And our audience is petty.
That's the name of our podcast, basically.
We're petty?
No, I've had it.
I've had it, but we are petty. Okay, I have a question. I've been dying to ask you this since the RNC.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jennifer and I have had times in our life that we were fucking crazy. We did crazy shit. And both
Tell me more. I'd like to see how the car.
There were some incidents in a car. But so we didn't talk anybody.
No, seriously. Tell me more.
Well, we backed into a bank because we were spying.
I'm not interested in that.
Okay. So anyway, nobody talked anybody off the ledge. It wasn't like, okay, that's a terrible idea. Instead, it was encouraging of terrible ideas.
Right.
The RNC, so I'm thinking, who is around him? The Hulk Hogan. I assume that was his idea because he's into the wrestling. Why did no one say, I don't know, maybe there's someone better? Nobody talks anybody off the ledge. So my question is it because he refuses to hear other voices? Or is everybody just thinking, oh my God, Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off?
Okay, so that was all part of the WWE, McMahon, who are friends of Donald's, stunt. It's the reality TV star in Donald thinking that he could appeal to a certain swath of this country who still to this day believe that the WWE is real wrestling.
Right?
And so you're never getting through to them. And he wants them the same way he wants the NRA, the same way he wants the white supremacists. Right? These are who he needs for votes. He's certainly not getting you.
Right.
He's not going to get educated people. Right? He's not getting the black population. He's not going to get the youth. He's not going to get a large population of the female vote. So he has to go for what's available. And he thought that, oh, yeah, Hulk Hogan, oh, yeah, brother, I'm going to tear off my shirt, oh, yeah. right? Wait till the pythons get you. I mean, and he thought that this is something that's appropriate for the RNC. But you bring, could someone ask John to turn that down? Hey, John, lower that. Freaking believable. Fucking chutzpah is what we would call it. Amazing, right? So, okay, here's the scenario. He thought that this was a good idea, and you're right. Nobody is going to take him off the ledge. Why? Corey Lewandowski, who I think is a putz and a half, and the fact that they brought him back, I think, is fantastic for the Harris campaign, because Corey is an absolute maniac. Corey did say something many years ago that, not new, but it's something nobody openly said, but he did. Let Trump be Trump. And this is Trump. This Amber Rose.
Right.
Kid Rock.
Right.
Hulk Hogan. Lara Trump. They even brought on Kai, his granddaughter, which I thought was nice, but maybe a little bit of preparation should have, and I don't mean preparation H, Donald. I'm talking about preparation in terms of looking at the document and reading it and sort of getting a better sense, because she's young, inexperienced. I thought she did a great job, but you're talking about the Republican convention. It's a place where you're supposed to pass along ideas about where you're going to go, policy, and so on. Instead, it was like a real shit episode of Celebrity Apprentice. They brought on Lara Trump, who's just ridiculous. Don Jr., who was just a babbling fool. I mean, let me be very clear. The dichotomy between the RNC convention and the DNC convention is day and night.
Right.
I mean, here, you're talking about people who are relevant, and I don't mean relevant in your home for a Thanksgiving dinner. I'm talking about relevant to the country, talking about policy and what they will do to make this country better for all of us. Not just his one percenters or his family, or him, of course, but for all America. You did not get that out of the RNC at all. So today, as I was waiting, because they sent me on the wrong bus, in order to get here, and then I had to get out somewhere else, I'm talking to this young black guy, 33 years old. He's into tech. He's a tech guy. And I asked him, are you coming to the convention? So he goes, I'm undecided. I said, whoa, really? You're somebody I actually want to speak to. Because, the people walking around with the, Harris Walls hats, with red, white, and blue, you know who they're voting for.
Right.
This guy I found incredibly interesting. And I asked him, whoa, you mind if I ask you something? Explain to me why you're still undecided at this very moment. What is it that has not already been put out there that would leave you as undecided? How can you, in essence, vote for Donald Trump, knowing everything that you know about him? Just tell me, how could you possibly vote for him? He said, I think that's part of Trump's genius, that there's still a large group of people that are undecided, and now he has the ability to pull us back in. I said, by doing what? By doing something worse than the overturning of Roe v. Wade? Or engaging in unconstitutional acts like what they did to me? The unconstitutional remand and ignoring the Constitution, the First Amendment? What else can this guy do? Because if you want, someone sent it to me this morning. It's a list. I think it comes out to about 8,000+ words of things that he did wrong to America. So what else can he do worse than what he's already done that would make you pull the lever for Kamala Harris? And he says, I don't know. I have to wait. Now, again, this is an undecided voter. This is somebody that's going to be essential to a win, even though my prediction, and I'm going to say it right here to all your viewers, I believe that this isn't even a contest anymore. I believe that even people who say that they're going to vote for Trump will not vote for him. But they refuse because of the stigma that gets attached.
Right.
The fact that I don't want to fight with my husband, I don't want to fight with my wife or my brother or my mother or my father. Because Donald Trump has torn apart plenty of families as a result of his divisiveness. So I don't think they say, but when you are there, it's you, God, and your piece of paper. And only the three of you know, right, who you voted for.
So let me ask you this. The fact that he is running against an incredibly smart, attractive candidate.
Well,
Kamala
attractive in
Harris.
whose opinion? You know, I'm the attractive one out of the two.
But you know, he has not.
Quite frankly, I don't think that was a very nice question.
You know, he hasn't really criticized
Am
her
I impressing
appearance.
you?
It's impressive.
So I'm
He
chilled.
hasn't really criticized her appearance. He's criticized her race.
No,
But-
he's criticized her appearance.
Oh, he has?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We
I
thought
haven't
maybe
heard-
he had a little crush on her a little bit.
It's possible.
He donated to her in the past.
Possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think?
That's because he needed something in California.
He seems somewhat terrified and paralyzed at how to go after her. He's tried the racism, fallen flat.
They've gone right now back to the birtherism.
Now
Yeah.
they're going back
Now
to
they're going
that.
back because
but
that worked for him. So with Trump, it's always go back to the old playbook. Sorry.
in his rally just now in North Carolina, he said, I'm still trying to decide what I want to call her. He admits that he's having a hard time labeling her. This was just within the last hour. He admits in his speech, you know, he rambles, that he himself is having a hard time labeling her. Knowing him the way you knew him in the past, and that he is running against a woman of color who is so incredibly smart, a prosecutor, he's a convicted felon. Do you think he's scared shitless?
Well, he's scared shitless of losing because he knows what the ramifications are going to be, which is far greater, believe it or not, than just losing the presidential election.
Right.
Right? I mean, the ramifications are far greater. One, you have the incredible, unsinkable Molly Brown, New York Attorney General Tish James. That's $500+ million.
Right.
All right? That's not some chump change. And then you have Alvin Bragg case where 34 counts of guilt, which will put him behind bars. Unless, of course, he wins the election. So winning is not about winning for the American people. It's winning for himself.
Survival.
Not to mention the great grift that he knows that he's going after. And the funny thing is, the dumbest people are the ones that are supporting him. Elon Musk, Paulson, Howard Lutnick, right? The Steve Witkoffs of the world. They're so stupid. And why? So Elon Musk thinks that Donald's an idiot, like everybody else.
Right.
He's what they call in the arts, right? A useful idiot.
Right.
Right. So they think that he's a useful idiot, but he's actually not. Now he may be unread, but he's got incredible instinct. So let's say Elon Musk is worth $300 billion. What does Donald really want out of this presidency? It's the money, the power, the money, the whole bit. So he does what Mohammed bin Salman does. He does what Vladimir Putin does. He gets them, has his SEAL Team 6 bring him to Mar-a-Lardo. They throw him on the floor there in the, in the ballroom on the floor. And he makes them sign over their wealth to him. And everybody says, shut up, Michael. Fucking hyperbolic nonsense, stupidity can't happen, won't happen. Really? Really? As the first political prisoner ever held by my own country because I refused to waive my First Amendment constitutional right and published a book critical of him. Really? You think for money he's not going to take theirs? And he'll turn around and he'll say to Elon Musk, yeah, but you didn't really earn that money fairly, right? You defrauded the United States. And you guys are looking at me like, what are you talking about? Well, where did Elon Musk make the bulk of his money?
Rebate.
$7,500 EV rebate on every Tesla sold. Right? Well, why should you get that? Right? Who did you pay off in order to get that? And then he turned around and said, I want the money back. But I don't want you to send it to this account. Send it to this account. That's a Vladimir Putin, Mohammed bin Salman move. And what did Mohammed bin Salman, the guy who turned around and said, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it to replenish the coffers for the Saudi people that you stole, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, really? Because day one, he went out. Day one. Bought a house in France for $500 million. He bought a yacht for $500 million. This is all day one. And a piece of art for $500 million. He took their money and he decided, I'm going to go on a little bit of a shopping spree. He only got 3 items for $1.5 billion. You think Donald is any different? He looks at those issues. He looks at those occurrences and he says, why isn't that not me? I could do that. If I'm president of the United States, his words, I'm like the king. I can do whatever I want. And now that the Supreme Court in that stupid-ass ruling of presidential immunity, no one's safe.
Yep.
No one's safe. Not you, Elon Musk. Not you, Paulson. Not you, Lutnick. Not you, Witkoff. Not you, the rest of these idiot Peter Thiel, who thinks that Donald is a useful idiot. You guys got him all wrong. And he will come back and he will bite you in the ass.
You bring up a good point, though, that he
No,
would...
a great point.
You do. That he would use the military as his own personal goon squad. And I always have a hard time when people say, oh, Trump just loves America and he loves the vets so much. Where we come from in a red state, they believe that he actually reveres military service.
Sure.
And to the contrary, he has spat on anybody who serves, and he's incredulous that somebody would actually do something so selfless.
Right.
And I think most recently he stepped into it really bad, where he gave a billionaire's wife a medal, a civilian medal.
Miriam Adelson.
Yes, and he said this was much better than the military medal because she's not wounded.
Right, so we're talking about the Medal of Honor versus the Medal of Freedom. Miriam Adelson obtained the Medal of Freedom because Sheldon Adelson gave him $100 million to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And then there's a whole slew of my fellow Jews that are like, Donald cares more about Israel than Kamala Harris. Why? Because he moved a building that Sheldon Adelson paid for? That Sheldon Adelson on his dying days, and I was there in the White House for it, at the Hanukkah party. And he turned around and he goes, I'll give you all the money to move it. I'll pay for the whole damn thing. What does Sheldon Adelson care? He's like 180 days away from death, in a wheelchair, being schlepped around by his wife, Miriam. And he says to Donald, in my life, I want to see this happen. You really think that this had to do with Middle Eastern peace? Yeah, sure. Moving a bunch of concrete or sticking a sign on a building that says embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Yeah, that's going to create 3,000 years of conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. Absolutely. Or it's going to stop Hamas from flying over and killing, maiming, wounding, and taking hostages. Or it's going to help them in order to get the hostages back, which should be focus one. Nah. Instead, he disparages, as you said, the veterans. And yeah, you're right, because giving money is the same as putting your life on the line for something much greater than yourself. And that's for America's democracy, for rule of law. 2 things that Donald doesn't give a shit about. And that's got to be crystal clear and apparent to everyone. And I hope that there are people that are watching and listening to this that are actually maggots. I really do. Because the only way that we're going to be able to educate them is to try to shove down their throats facts.
Right.
Not the bullshit innuendo that they hear on Newsmax,
right.
OAN, Fox News, right? We need to sort of deluge them in reality and facts.
Okay.
And by the way, veterans, as a result of that, absolutely hate him for making that statement.
Yep.
Good.
Let me ask you this. There's a huge myth in a lot of red states, people that are probably upper middle class that say, oh, I like his economic policies. He's such a great businessman.
Yeah.
And when I look at his track record, he inherited almost $500 million.
More.
Bankrupted casinos.
You remember my meme? More.
He's basically not that great at business. Would you agree?
Yeah. So, there's a great expression. How do you become worth $1 billion? Start with 2. If you're Donald Trump, right? I mean, that's really what it was. Fred Trump was really freaking rich. People don't even know how rich he actually was. I mean, the guy was beyond, especially in terms of dollars, meaning, back then versus now.
Right.
You equate the amount of money that Donald inherited. Had he done absolutely nothing but put it into T-bills, he'd be worth a whole lot more than double whatever it is that he's worth now. And let me be very clear to your followers again. He is not worth $10 billion. He's not worth 8 or 5 or even 2. He's just not.
Do you think he's struggling financially right now?
Yeah, especially knowing that the Tish James decision by Judge Engoron, the $500 million, that's going to deplete every dollar that he has. And here's another thing, too, that I would love to find out. So when you're a felon, they shut down all your bank accounts, the credit cards and so on. I wonder if they shut down Donald's. I wonder. Or does he once again get preferential treatment over every other person who's a felon, myself included? And I've asked a bunch of members of Congress, and especially if, God willing, Democrats take back the House, that's a question they will bring in Jamie Dimon, they will bring in various different CEOs of banks. We want to know. We want to know whether or not his accounts are still active, whether or not his loans have been called, just like they did to everybody else. Because these banks, they don't loan out their own money. They loan out money that they borrow from the Treasury, which we pay as far as taxes. They borrow it at like 0%, and then they charge an interest rate on top of it, above it. So you're loaning our money. We have the right to know whether or not you're treating everybody the same. Or does Donald, as per everything, get preferential treatment in that too?
Okay, final question.
Yeah.
When he loses, okay, and let's say that it is a huge electoral mandate for the Dems, do you think he flees the country?
No.
No.
There's no place that he can go. Where can he go that you're not going to see that golden mop with the bronzed face? I mean, he's like a 6'2" Oompa Loompa, right? It's like, whoop. And I mean, that's, who's not going to recognize him? He is by far one of at least the top 5 most photographed people in the world. In fact, I may be getting up there. Last night when I was down here on the floor, holy shit, I'm talking to the Congress member from Missouri. And we're having this really great conversation, and there's a whole line of people lined up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, do you guys realize you want to take a picture with a felon? I always feel like, I said to one of them, I actually feel like I want to pick your pocket. It was great. And I'm saying to myself, you're all standing online to take a photograph with a felon. It's like, why? Here he goes again. Son of a gun.
I would stand in line to get a photograph with you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have to. You come straight to the front.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have to give you shit about something.
Oh, God.
So when we were in New York City, it was during the trial.
Oh, God.
Right before the trial.
Right before the trial.
You
And
stood us up.
He stood us up.
We were
jilted
supposed to
lovers,
meet.
Left at the altar. We dolled up.
We dolled up. We were sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And then we're waiting, looking at the door, and then the text message comes in from you. I've been meeting with my lawyers. Ladies, I'm so sorry.
So we're going to give you a pass.
And we
Okay.
were heartbroken. Now, of course, you were the star witness.
That's right.
And
Right, forget about being a star witness. Forget about 25 hours on the stand. Forgetting about having to read through at least 10, 15,000 documents and ensure.
it was us.
I get it. I get it. And
We're
on
kidding.
behalf of all America, who, these 50, 100, 500, I must have taken 10,000 photos yesterday. I'm not joking. On behalf of all of them, they apologize for my successful and truthful recitation of all of the facts. I should have ignored all of that and met you two so that we could have gotten hammered.
That's exactly
All right,
right.
listen, everybody, follow Michael Cohen's YouTube channel.
Oh, yes. So I just started.
Yes.
40 days ago today, I started this YouTube channel called The Michael Cohen Show.
So follow the
Michael,
Michael
of course I
Cohen
know
Show.
it because I subscribe.
I now have, after 40 days, 145,813 subscribers. By the way, it's free to subscribe.
Yeah, so
right.
subscribe. Subscribe to our show.
Yes.
And we're going to make some social media content with Michael. Michael, thank you so much.
We're going to have a
you,
lot of fun
Michael.
doing it.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, all right.
Girls.
It's so